The greatest practical benefit is making mistakes early in life. As I began to research this speech, this quote in particular stuck out to me by Thomas Huxley. Because a lot of what I perceived to be negative events early on in my life, I thought were catastrophes, but ultimately would be stepping stones to something better in my life. And as I talk about my past, my present, and my future with y'all, hopefully you'll be able to see the correlation as well of how these things have helped make things better for me. Talking about my past first, and because it's helped shape me to be who I am today. My name is Joshua McBride. I was born in Jasper, Texas in 1980. I am the son of a traveling man, really. My father traveled wherever the work went as a pipe fitter. And he took us to places like New Jersey, New York, Maine, Arkansas, Wyoming, and ultimately California. And as a young man, I graduated in Ridgecrest, California in 1998 from Sherman E. Burroughs High School. I immediately joined the U.S. Air Force. And if you'd asked me when I put on the uniform what my future was going to be, I'd have told you I was going to be a military man the day I died. That was my plans, that was my hopes, that was my goals. 6 years later, though, the political climate in America changed, and the military was downsizing, and I was shown the door. It was a disaster as far as I was concerned at the time, and I just lost hope for nearly a year. But my father worked in chemical plants. I have a family that works in chemical plants. My brother, my father, my grandfather. It's respectable work, and it provides for a good future in the area, and I got into that. And I did that when I got out of the military, and I thought that was my future. And not to brag or boast, was somewhat of a rising star, at least I thought, where I worked. But then the recession happened, and once again I found myself redundant, and I was shown the door again. That was a disaster, I thought. I thought it was going to be one of the worst things that's happened to me in a long time. But when I was in the unemployment office, I bumped into a former Marine. And we struck up a conversation about our future goals, and he mentioned the Montgomery GI Bill. And I knew it had been there the whole time, I just forgotten about it. And just like that, doors began to open that I never realized were there in the first place. If I never lost my job at the chemical plant, I would never have known to come to Lamar. And if I had never gotten in the military, that door would never have existed at all. So these two disasters ultimately led to something wonderful in my life, where I was actually able to pursue what I wanted to pursue, no longer having to pick the best of what limited options were available. And that leads to the present, where we are now here at Lamar. I am a senior. I graduate in December. I've been here 4 years. Tickled pink to graduate finally. And I'm studying geology. That's my major. And my personal hobbies and interests tie very much into earth and space sciences. I like to go on trips finding gems and minerals, or in this case, fossils. And this is an ammonite. I love to dig these things up. They're fun. This was related to an octopus or a squid that swims in the ocean like this. They died out at the end of the age of dinosaurs. They're all gone now. So it's just an interesting thing that I enjoy doing. What this means for my future. I have learned from past experience now not to bottleneck myself into saying that this is the one definitive thing that I'm going to do. I have nebulous goals that I would love to achieve with my future, but I now know better than to not expect the world to give me a change of course at any moment. Part of me wants to pursue a future that involves money in the industry. Another part of me wants to pursue a future in science. So for now, we'll go on to my higher education, get a master's degree and maybe beyond, and we'll see where the wind blows me. And to conclude, to wrap up this speech, it's somewhat of a confession, at least for me it is, because in the realm of science, we're supposed to be logical and reasonable. And I believe that everything happens for a reason. I believe everything happens for a reason because if you believe it does, then you make it so. Whether it be good or bad, you take that information and you incorporate it into what you do from then on. And I think with that as a somewhat of a moral compass for me, I'll always be on the right track. My name is Joshua McBride, and thank you